All right, welcome. Today, we're going to go way beyond the balance sheets and the net worth numbers. We're going to explore what wealth actually feels like. What the lived day-to-day experience of money really is. So, let's start with a big question. What's the real difference between having $1,000 and having $1 billion? Yeah, we all know it's a ton of zeros. But what does that huge gap actually mean for your life? For the very first thought that pops into your head when you wake up? This question, it gets right to the heart of everything. And see, here's the answer. This is the core idea for our entire explainer today. Wealth isn't really about the stuff you can buy. It's not a score. It's a tool. At every single level, from broke to billionaire, money is used to solve a specific set of problems. And the more money you have, the bigger and weirder and more abstract those problems become.
So, let's start at the very foundation, where the problems are immediate, they're physical, and they just do not stop. This is the level of pure, minute-by-minute survival.
Think about this for a second. This comparison, it just perfectly frames the entire day. For someone who's homeless, the very first challenge is about finding basic human dignity and hygiene. For someone in deep poverty, it's about staying connected to the grid, to jobs, to family, to any kind of support system. Both are immediate survival questions.
At this level, your brain is just a constant checklist of the absolute fundamentals. You're not thinking about next year or even next month. You're thinking about the next few hours. And notice paperwork is on that list. Because at this stage, it's not just an annoying chore, it's a massive barrier.
And man, this quote just hits it home. When you have absolutely nothing, the systems that are supposed to help you can feel like impossible walls. Losing your ID, which for some of us is just a trip to the DMV, becomes this brick wall that blocks you from getting a job, a place to sleep, pretty much everything.
This one really paints a picture, doesn't it? It speaks to this incredible resourcefulness you have to have when you can't just pay for a solution. A broken microwave isn't a problem you solve by calling a repairman. It's a problem you solve with your own time, your own ingenuity, and whatever you can get your hands on.
So here it is. This is the crucial turning point. As you slowly climb out of that daily struggle, your mental horizon just expands. You escape the tyranny of the right now. And for the first time, you can actually start thinking about next week, or maybe even the end of the month. And that shift leads us right into our next phase, which is all about getting just a little bit of breathing room. You've got a small cushion, but, the fear of falling all the way back down, it is always there. This is the search for stability.
This is what managing your money looks like here. It's this constant, hands-on dance. You're always watching, always adjusting, always reacting. And that last step is so key. You're building up a little savings, but it's fragile. One bad surprise, a car repair, an unexpected bill, and poof, it's gone.
And that's your emergency fund right there. It's an absolute game changer because it means a flat tire doesn't automatically turn into a crisis where you lose your job. But that line is so thin. It gives you some peace of mind, sure, but that peace can be shattered really easily.
This might sound like a small thing, but it is a monumental shift. This is the exact moment you start being able to buy back your own time and, just as important, avoid risk. You're paying for an expert. You're no longer trading your own hours and the very real risk of making things worse for a DIY fix. It's a huge step.
And that brings us to the next level. This is where money stops being just about playing defense against disaster. Now it becomes a tool for offense, for actively building a better, easier, and much more secure life.
And this chart tells the whole story. Look, a huge chunk of your extra cash is now going towards the future. Investments, retirement. But the part that I find really fascinating is that outsourced services slice. That's not just about having a cleaner house. That's about buying back your Saturdays. It's about converting money directly into free time.
And right here, this is where the game completely changes. For the first time, your time and your income are decoupled. They are not directly linked anymore. You're no longer just trading hours for dollars. Your money is now working for you, even when you aren't. That is a profound, fundamental change.
Okay, so now we are entering the stratosphere. At this level, money isn't just about solving your own problems anymore. It becomes a tool for shaping your entire world, for managing insane complexity, and for exerting control.
I love this comparison because it's so perfect. Most of us manage the complexity in our lives with a bunch of apps and to-do lists. At the highest level of wealth, you pay a whole team of experts to take all of that complexity and boil it down to a single page. Your job isn't to run the machine anymore, it's just to read the dashboard. And that dashboard, it leads to this. Your work completely transforms.
It's no longer about doing things, it's about making a few super high-leverage strategic decisions. You're not answering emails or managing projects. You make a couple of key calls that steer the whole ship, and you trust your team to handle absolutely everything else.
So when we say everything else, what are we even talking about? Well, look at this list. The entire infrastructure of your life, from managing billion-dollar investment portfolios to just booking a flight, it's all handled by a professional organization whose only job is to protect your time and attention so you can focus on those 2 or 3 critical decisions.
Okay, so let's pull all this together. We've gone on this huge journey from just surviving the day all the way up to managing a global enterprise. So what's the common thread through all of it?
This table just lays it all out, side by side. I mean, just look at the home repair row. The solution to the problem goes from do it yourself to do it for me, all the way to it's already done. Or look at time. It starts as a commodity you trade for dollars. Then it becomes a precious resource you have to guard. And finally, it's an asset so valuable it has to be professionally managed and protected.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. When you boil it all down, that's what's happening. From finding a bathroom to funding a rocket company, it's all just problem solving. The scale of the problem changes, the complexity changes, but the basic function of money, it stays exactly the same. It buys you a solution.
Which leaves us with one last question to chew on. If wealth is just a tool to solve bigger and bigger problems, from survival to stability to convenience to control, what's the final problem? What is the one thing that all of this effort, all of this wealth, is ultimately trying to solve? That's something to think about. Thanks for joining me.